Hey guys, this is Flammy. Welcome back. We're here with another subscriber base review, my weekly series where I review your guys' bases. This week we've got Town Hall 7s. Let's jump right in at it, and if you guys want to know how you can apply for a future subscriber base review, stick around to the end. I'll give you the full details then. Alright, here we are with Mantle. I think that's how I'm going to pronounce this. Town Hall 7, our very first one. Thank you very much for applying. So you didn't leave any notes, but let's just look at this base. Alright, 1100 trophies and Town Halls inside the walls. That's probably the first thing I'm going to suggest you change. Definitely going to want to probably move your town hall outside the walls. When you're down on 1100 trophies, you might think that, you don't want to drop any farther because that would be too low. Well, the thing is, yes, but all it takes is, one attack, every couple days, and that just keeps you even. When you leave your town hall outside the walls, people will 1-star you really often, so you don't actually lose that many. So if you just get a 2 or a 3-star occasionally, you totally maintain trophies, and in fact you'll even have some people dropping trophies, so you really won't lose trophies at all. So honestly, even if you don't attack for a week or two, I'd expect you to stay pretty much right there. I've seen that with my own accounts. So yeah, first piece of advice is going to be moving your town hall outside the walls. Let's look at your resource storage next, because this base is pretty much a resource farming base when you're done at this trophy count. Now, I really like how your stores are laid out here with this. You've got 2 in the center compartment. That's fine. Nice and well protected. These ones are down here and over here. Interesting. They're all separated by walls, and yet they're still covered by the wizard towers. So I definitely like to see that. Now, your wizards and your mortars could be a bit higher. They could be maxed out at level 5 for the mortars and level 4 for the wizard towers. Expensive and slow to get up there. Perhaps you were just recently up to Town Hall 7. Would not find that too surprising, given that you've got a mortar that's still working its way up over here. So yeah, that's something to work on, though. Now, walls. Walls sort of jump out at me. You've got an interesting collection of seemingly randomly placed level 5s, level 4s, and level 6s. Now, level 6s, you only got, I think, 3 of them that I see out here. 1, 2, well, I missed that one, and 3. So yeah, 3 of them. You seem to sort of be random in their upgrading. So I would definitely sort of focus on getting stuff up to level 5 first, just because it's not that expensive. You can get 2.5 walls up to level 5 before you get one up to level 6 for the same cost of the amount of gold. So yeah, I just get them up to level 5 first, and then get some select ones up to 6. But more importantly than that even, I would focus on getting certain ones up to 6, or even at this point, just swapping them around so certain ones are in up higher levels in critical spots. So you sort of seemingly interesting avoided doing corner walls. So this one's level 4, this one's level 4, and this one's all level 4. I would consider those pretty much your most important walls right there. Beyond that, this set right in here is going to be pretty important. And probably this corner, and over here, these corners. So, of your corners, most of them are actually level 4. You're going to want to make your corners and junction. So, corner is right here, I've got selected. Junction right next to it. Corner, well, I guess that's corner and junction. Corner and junction. Corner, you're going to want to upgrade those ones first of all. So if any walls should have level 7, it's those ones. And if any walls should have level 6, it's also those ones. And all those are level 4, or at least a good number of them. So yeah, I would definitely consider upgrading those. Alright, so anyone looking at this base, Tesla right here, pretty obvious, I mean that's fine. You got a large gap in here. I think you could probably tighten that up a little bit, just move the cannon a little closer. You got some interesting stuff going on. Your clan castle's up here north. I'd probably like to see that more centralized. Maybe even swap it with this cannon down here. I'm not sure completely. What do you have in your clan castle? Let's check that. Oh, nothing. That's very sad. Definitely fill that up. See if your clanmates are generous enough to donate troops, because that really helps out your defense. I'm sure I'll be talking about that a lot, but centralized clan castle, actually, yeah, I'd put it right in the center if you're moving your town hall outside. Definitely do that. Now, last thing I'm going to talk about in this base is something that's pretty interesting, and I think would be pretty effective, and that's these 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those spots right there, hopefully all have spring traps in them. If a giant breaks into anywhere along the top here, it's all one compartment as you can see, because those holes actually connect all these different defenses. So any giants, any infantry would all go from one defense to the next, probably walking over spring traps that were located here, here, and here. Hopefully they're spring traps. If they're not, definitely make them into spring traps. Now the thing is, if you're not being super active, what you can do is fill those in with walls. So you had a couple spare ones down here, I noticed. One right here, one right here. This one right here is a spare. This one right here is a spare. Right over here. If you are not being super active, just fill these spots in. Because why is that? Well, you don't want someone to attack, trigger the spring traps, and then, like, say they don't give you 40% damage for a shield, and then they surrender. Then the next person comes along, and then they attack, but now the spring traps are gone. And if this happens several times in a row, or you're not able to come online like every 12 hours to replace them in case they get detonated, yeah, you're probably going to want to swap them up at that point. So yeah, just keep in mind that you can always close them off if needed, but I definitely like to see this with spring traps in between these defenses. It's very effective if you are being active. Overall, pretty good base. I like it, except for the town hall is really the only major thing I've got an issue with. So yeah, I would definitely consider moving that out, and then that would also give you some more options to tighten up your base. But beyond that, I don't see any major problems. Just keep upgrading your defenses. Always a struggle to keep them all upgraded up to maximum. Beyond that, good job. Moving on to our next Town Hall 7 base. Alright guys, here with Gord, with interesting capitalization in his name, as you can see up at the top left. Alright, very maxed out base. Let's see if I can detect anything that's actually not maxed out. Town Hall's obviously upgrading. Defenses and storage is right here, obviously very full. Looks like they're nearly completely full, as you can see right there. Not surprising, given that he's upgrading to the next Town Hall level. I'd expect that he pretty much maxed out everything, but let's check everything. Okay, level 3 clan castle, level 8, and level 8. Oop, oh, yeah, that is an 8. I thought it might be a 7 for a second when I first glanced at it. Level 8, level 8. Air defense is even going up to level 5. Sort of risky, upgrading both your air defenses at once, especially with this much gold in the bag. But you know what? I think you've sort of realized that you're at a position where if you don't spend it, you're just going to lose it anyway, so you might as well get attacked occasionally yeah, so you might as well spend it because otherwise it's going to just get wasted, and because your storage are pretty much full anyways. Walls, very good job maxing them out at level 7. Yeah, I didn't even do that on my base. That requires lots of farming. I would bet that you have lots of attacks in this last season and this current season because, yeah, level 7 walls maxing out, that's a lot of gold. For those of you guys who are not aware, level 7 walls are 200,000 gold each, just to go from level 6 to level 7. So kudos to you for upgrading that. Yeah, so like I said, going up to level 7 Town Hall, you do have a Barbarian King. Actually meant to mention that on the last base, there was a Dark Elixir storage, but no Barbarian King. So you know what this tells me? With the level 2 Dark Elixir storage and a level 2 Barbarian King, I expect that you've been at a higher trophy count lately, getting Dark Elixir for that Barbarian King. It's very hard to find a proper amount of Dark Elixir down at 1250 trophies. Trust me, because I've been down at 1250 trophies lately, and yeah, not a lot of Dark Elixir. There's some, it's occasional, but the thing is, it's a lot of really high level Town Hall 9s, Town Hall 10s, some Town Hall 8s, but typically the more maxed out Town Hall 8s. So it's pretty hard to steal it from them. Going up a bit higher, you'll find Dark Elixir a lot more consistently. So, pro tip to anyone out there, if you're looking for Dark Elixir, I would say look around 1500, at least above 1400. It's actually not that hard to find, over 1000 in particular raids, and often up to 2000. Very good to use a triple lightning strategy to go get it. Alright, coming back to this base here. Teslas, right here, pretty obvious. Let's see, so you've got gold mines inside the wall. That's interesting. 1, 2, and 3. Interesting decision. So, what would those potentially be replaced by? Well, you do have these air defenses, which should potentially be upgraded to a better defensive position by kicking out gold mines. Your clan castle is fairly centralized, not super, but fairly. Alright, interesting combination. So, some clans really like minions. Personally, I'm not really a fan of them, but I guess some people really, really like them. I mean, if you do, that's fine. The thing about minions is they got decent damage, but they do cost 2 supply. They do fly, though, so sometimes you can get some good free damage in if there aren't any archers in a convenient position. For example, if someone deployed giants right here, they'd come in, attack walls, so use wall breakers to get the giants in, whatever. Minions come out, start attacking the giants. Well, if you deploy archers out here to take out the minions, archers are going to get distracted on all these guys out here, so definitely effective right there. Archers, though, and barbarians, both good choices. Level 3 and level 4, not as much, but you know what, it's alright, it's acceptable. It's not, like, terrible. Some people really think that, like, if you're higher level, like, getting lower level troops is like, oh, it's terrible. But if you look at their stats, mainly, and how they really affect your defense, really, you'll notice that it really comes down to your units distracting the enemy and not really doing damage. So, Barbarian King, I would mainly say, when I use my Barbarian King on defense, mainly it's just that they're doing damage. Yeah, sure, one shot's like maybe 10 infantry or something, but, I mean, that's just 10 infantry. They've got like 200 supply typically when someone's attacking you, or 180 in the case that they're a Town Hall 6. Um, so yeah, the main thing is I'm just distracting them and slowing down the units, and then letting these defenses do the real damage. Alright, let's continue talking though. Level 4 Wizard Towers, level 5, level 5, level 5, so maxed out just like I was mentioning, it wasn't done in the previous base. Interestingly, you have not maxed out your elixir collectors, so level 8s and level 9s here, as well as some of the gold mines, level 9s, and then you got a couple of level 10s. Of course, all those go to a level 11, as you can see from these storages in here. Yeah, it's good. I really like it. Let's spend the last couple minutes talking about your army composition. A couple giants, looks like. Yes, 5 giants. Pretty heavy on the goblins. Pretty light on the barbarians. Medium number wall breakers. Lot of archers. I like this army composition. Fairly similar to one of my favorites, which I'm currently using. Generally like the 4 to sort of 6 giants for distractions and just soaking health. That's not enough or giants, by the way, to do any sort of real damage to defenses. That's all going to be in there for soaking damage from the defenses to let the infantry stay alive. A lot of goblins will be definitely getting the resources. Barbarians, probably for both soaking damage as well as getting free damage in. Archers. I'm sure that your archers are going to be the main damage dealers. Of course, the goblins will be getting into the storages and stuff when needed, but archers with that many of them, quite powerful, and the main part of his army. Wall breakers, yep, nice. Could add a couple more if like against bases like this. You've got a pretty good base laid out against wall breakers. You got a lot of compartments, and you got high level walls. So if you look at these wall breakers, they'll only be level 4 because you're Town Hall 7. You won't yet have available level 5 until you're done with this Town Hall 8 upgrade. So this base, if attacking with level 4s, it would take 2 level 4s to get through every one of these compartments, every one of these walls. So ideally, at like an optimal, it'd take 2 wall breakers to get through this wall, 2 to get through this wall, and 2 to get through here. So that's 6 right there, assuming none die, and they all go exactly as you want. And like not missing and like splashing on different walls, or only opening one compartment rather than opening double at the same time. So that's at least 6 wall breakers to break into just this right here, not even the center with the town hall and stuff. So yeah, there's that. Last thing I will say is once again town hall. If you think about it this way, if you left your town hall outside the walls, what's the downside of it right now? Basically, you'd get a decent number of people attacking, taking out your town hall, and surrendering. I guess not really surrendering. They technically defeat you and they give you a 12-hour shield. That would be amazing for you, Gore, right now. You've got a crap ton of resources and you don't want them to get stolen. So what should you do? Let them give you a free shield. It really is going to help protect your resources. And right now, I would absolutely move that outside the walls. I'd probably move your clan castle to right where it is in that 4x4 area, kick it outside the walls, and like maybe upgrade a cannon to where the clan castle is. Just something really simple like that, temporary, and just sort of plugging the hole, and just letting people give you a shield to protect these storages. Alright, that is going to wrap it up for our second Town Hall 7 base. Thank you very much for submitting it. Always like to see maxed out bases as well as ones which are upgrading, because you can sort of see the ideal, which a lot of other Town Hall 7s can sort of strive for. Good job with this maxing out, and very good job with the walls. I recognize that is a very big time commitment and effort, so good job for you for doing those. On to the next one, guys. Alright guys, I want to start this base review before I even actually load the base. So the guy who submitted his base review is right here, Jacob. So his clan has 20 guys in it, but it's somewhat worrisome. It's got some high levels, like that's nice. You got like this level 87 up here. Couple things that's sort of concerning me. One, you have really high donations, which is not a bad thing. But comparison to everyone else has really low donations. Look at this column. Donates, receives, pretty low. Now the other big problem, and that's not a problem by itself, the other big problem is look at the leagues. All these people have no shield here. Look at these guys. Look at these guys. All the way down here, like pretty much half the people, even more than half the people in your clan, don't have a league. This is a problem because it means they're going to be really inactive, and they are inactive. So the last league update was 5 days before I was recording this. I'm currently recording this on Friday, and the last reset on Sunday. That means half your clan has not attacked in the last 5 days. So yeah, that's not ideal. I would definitely think about swapping clans if that sort of continues, or at least trying to get your clan leader to kick a bunch of inactives and do some heavy recruiting. Alright, let's load up your base and continue from there. So hopefully you are Town Hall 7, because I do find a couple of reviews which aren't actually Town Hall 7. Good, you are. Okay, looking right at this, interesting stuff. Low level mortars, level 2 is not ideal. Wizards level 1 and level 1? Yeah, they are. Not ideal either. Got your walls up, though, so that does show that you can farm some gold. But I would definitely say, priority-wise, would I rather have, like, maxed out defenses or, like, level 1 walls? I'd rather have maxed out defenses. Walls are nice for slowing down enemies, but you're never going to win if you can't kill. And the difference between a level 1 wizard and a level 4 wizard is huge. Level 4 wizards, it's like double this. It's just so much more powerful. Same with mortars, same with all your defenses. I will say you're doing a better job with the cannons and archer towers. Looks like these are 7s, these are 6s. So, you know what that tells me? That tells me you're getting enough gold and just running an upgrade as soon as you can afford it. Instead, you should try to save up the gold a bit more until you can afford one of these bigger upgrades. And yes, they are more expensive. Yes, they are slower, but the splash damage ones are really, really important. Once again, our third Town Hall 7 base, which has a Town Hall on the inside of the walls. I would definitely recommend moving this out. 1400, well, I mean, it's sort of getting up there where you consider keeping inside the walls, but even at this point, I would say it's really not worth it. So yeah, I would recommend moving that outside the walls as well. Clan Castle in the center, very much approve of that. Let's check out this. Giants, not so much. Giants, I guess if you're attacking, they're not bad. They're not bad to add in. But if they're for defense, I really don't like them. Maybe one giant sometimes for distraction. It's got the extra health. But like I was saying before in the last base review, if you just have a bunch of infantry, honestly, that just does more in terms of distracting, just because it takes a lot of time for the enemies who are attacking your clan castle guys to switch between targets. Instead, if it's just a couple giants, there's 3 of them in this case, I'll pull that up again, just 3 giants, well, they don't have to switch targets, even if they are level 4, they just keep firing, keep firing, keep firing, they die, then they switch targets. As opposed to, say, you have 15 archers in here, a bunch of enemies will attack one archer, and they'll completely overkill. They'll do like 200 damage to it. But it's only one archer, so it only got like 50 health anyways. So it's dead. They switch targets. There's a delay. They attack the next archer. Do 200 damage to it, but it only takes 50. Same thing. The delay ends up of swapping enemies, swapping who they're targeting, ends up being a lot more significant than the actual health of the units. So yes, I would recommend asking for infantry. Now, let's check out your army composition. Looks like it's not full, given this army camp is not maxed out, but let's see it anyways. Alright, 136 out of 170. So you're mostly full. Interesting army composition. That is a lot of giants. 20 giants. Man, I would aim for using a maximum of, personally, like in my history, when I would used to use a very heavy giant compositions, I'd aim for like 18 giants. When I was a Town Hall 8, attacking heavy Town Hall 8 bases. So I would need the extra giants to get through the heavy defense, get through the walls, as well as just have that many so they'd stay alive against that many defenses. So I can tell you, 20 is a ton when you're dealing with only 170 troops and you're only a Town Hall 7. I would definitely consider lowering this a lot. Beyond that, dragons. Dragons don't really work that well with giants. The way it works out is giants go down the ground. What attacks giants? Well, archer towers, cannons, mortars, and wizard towers. What attacks dragons? Well, archer towers and wizard towers both attack dragons, but the main damage dealers are air defenses. So you only got level 1 air defense, but look at this. 80 damage per second. Compare that to this guy, 11, so 8 times more pretty much, and this, 35. And of course, that is a level 1 air defense too as well. You will be seeing a lot higher than that as well. You can tell from this bar right here, if this bar is, that's only 80 right here, level 2s, level 3s, they'll go up to over 100 very quickly. So yes, my point is, by having one dragon in your army, it's really not going to be that helpful. It takes up a lot of supply, and like I was sort of saying, it doesn't really work well with your giants most of the time. Because the dragon will be taking this main foe will be the air defenses, and the dragons, their main foe is going to be, well, with this many, it's going to be the splash damages, but the cannons and the archer towers certainly will affect it, as well as the wizard towers. So yes, I would consider swapping up that army composition. I would say lighter on the giants, cut the dragon, and add more infantry. I would say go for maybe 12 to 14 giants. Just try that out. Then add a bunch of infantry to sort of support it. You'll have a lot more room in your army camps, and yeah, I think you'd be successful with that. But let me know how that goes. As for anyone else who sort of uses that army composition, or is it Town Hall 7, Town Hall 6, Town Hall 8, let Jacob here know what army composition you use. Perhaps if it's a giant composition, recommend some troops to him, and what's been working for you? How do you use them? Because that's my gut feeling and from my experience, sort of what I would say. Beyond that, let's talk about upgrading storages or collectors and mines. So level 7, level 8, 7s. Alright, say 7s and 8s. So, alright, that's good. I'm glad to see that you're not leaving any behind, but I would definitely say focusing on your defense is going to be a lot more important. If I pull up your storages, you have 600,000 at the moment. That's definitely enough to upgrade these mortars. This wizard tower, I believe, is 720,000 for level 2. Don't quote me on that. It's been a long time since I've upgraded any wizards to level 2. But yeah, basically save up your gold and upgrade your defenses. The thing is, your layout is actually really good. I really like your layout. It's quite fine. You could potentially make it a bit more compact by kicking out some of these gold mines and elixir collectors and just compacting the defenses down a little bit more with some more compartments. But overall, your defense layout is just fine. All you gotta do is focus on upgrades. Upgrades, upgrades, upgrades. Alright, Jacob, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna stop nailing you on those upgrades. I think I talked about that enough. But yeah, good defense layout, bad upgrades. But keep at it, and let me know how it goes. Alright, on to the next one, guys. Alright guys, here we are with our fourth and final Town Hall 7 base for this subscriber base review video. This is, oh boy, X-Hunter? It looks like Hunter. I just want to say Hunter, but it's got an X in the front of it, so that's very confusing, with a couple ones on the end. Alright, he left me a big long message, so I'm going to try to read this paragraph off. Alright, he says about his base, pretty much is a maxed out base, except air defense, well, and some walls. That's my comment, by the way. Hybrid Town Hall 7 base, it's self-designed with strong defenses, made sure that the goblin will go around the base, destroying mines and collectors before getting the storages, where I like that. And there's also 2 hidden Teslas beside the Town Hall. Well, that one's not so hidden, and that one, yeah, I could sort of predict. He continues, where was he, where is this? This is a big long paragraph. Also made sure there's some spaces between the defenses to leave traps right there. Pretty much a very solid base, both for trophies and resources. I always leave the lower resource storages outside. Hopefully you can review my base and give me some suggestions for improving my base. And it looks like I'm going to do that. As always, enjoy watching your videos and appreciate your work. Thanks. Aw, thank you. Alright, here we are. Leaving your storages outside. What did you mean by that? This one right here, leaving it sort of outside. That's very interesting. I'm sure you get some people attacking for that. Looks like it's pretty empty. Is it? No, it's not actually. Wow, that's actually relatively full. Notice that. Look at that. It's got 200,000 resources, and it shows as having 1 coin. This game's a little silly sometimes. Alright, so let's talk about some of those things. So look, traps right here. Traps right here. Those would be spring traps. Love those. I expect you have like maybe some air bombs in there, maybe bombs for the because the storage is right next to it. Not a bad choice. Your storages are very spread out. Very much like to see that. I definitely improve. Town Hall is like not in the center, so hooray for that. It is kind of sort of outside. So yes, this is indeed a hybrid base. So anyone who's currently watching my base build, I am building a hybrid base. It's pretty similar to this. Well, I mean, just not really similar to this, just the overall style. So what did you mean about the collectors and mines? This is actually really clever. I like to see this. So if you look here, if I zoom out a little bit, look where all of his collectors and mines are. They're very evenly spaced around the sides. So this probably means it's a pain to collect them. But what it means is goblins attacking from any single side, they're going to want to go for the next collector in a row around the outside. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. I definitely like to see that. Yeah, pretty awesome. So yeah, how would actually this is an interesting thing. How would someone attack this base? So yeah, I'm going to do a little disservice here. So say you want to get this gold, and say that only getting your gold right there is your only goal in mind. Well, you're going to want to be aware of this wizard tower, and you're going to want to be aware any goblins that you have are going to be going for these guys. So you'd want to put down about 10, 20 goblins right here. Only 10 is fine. Then maybe 10 right here, and they would destroy both of these, and then the 10 would head off in this direction. Send in some wall breakers next while these defenses are all distracted. Blow this up. You could do that while the goblins are taking them out. And then you send in 20 more goblins. That means that these goblins that destroyed this and were on their way here, they'd be distracting the wizard tower. Then the next ones would be the ones that you put down next would go straight through the wall breaker hole, attacking the storage. So if anyone wants to know how to attack a base like this, that's exactly how you do it. Same thing would work over here on this side. Same thing would work on these two, except you'd have to use a lot more wall breakers to get in. At least 4 of them, if none of them died, perhaps a bit more depending on how the compartments worked out. Yeah, down here you definitely have to use more. But yeah, pretty good. I like to see that, and yeah, just a bit of a tip right there. And also, in case you didn't know, that's basically, you need to be aware that people can do that to you, and I expect some people do, indeed. Alright, moving on. So yes, trophies. You are up in the trophy count, 1,500 and above, so I would say that this is indeed a valid time to have your town hall protected or semi-protected if you are indeed going for trophies. I mean, there's no real reason to go for trophies unless it's sort of either a requirement or a motivation for your clan. Perhaps you're making a trophy push right now, so there's that. Beyond that, upgrading stuff, interested to see that you're not yet maxed out on that. Perhaps it's spelled or something, because I'd expect these units are going to be rather maxed out. And yes, indeed they are at level 2s. Don't have these guys up, but that's to be expected. You're only at Town Hall 7, so Dark Elixir is very hard to come by, and you do have a Barbarian King. Level 4s and everything else, which is the maximum. So yeah, once again, light on the Giants, so distractions, very heavy on the Goblins. Personally, I'm not really a fan of that as much, just because I like to use heavy infantry to just sort of be more technical. But to each his own, I'm sure it's very effective. And you know, it's probably pretty effective up here at getting Dark Elixir. So I expect you can get some good Dark Elixir from your enemies. Interesting to have a dragon. Once again, sort of like the last base. One dragon, I don't think it works crazy well with this. I mean, it's not, I don't have as big of a deal because it's not. It works much better with this infantry mix than it did with that mass giant. I'd be curious how you use that. Perhaps take out clan castle guys, or just in general when there's not a ton of air defense covering, just sort of a couple archer towers or wizard tower or Tesla. That'd be interesting. I'd be curious to see how you use a single dragon like that. And if any of you guys do use single dragons with a lot of ground units, a lot of infantry, let me know how you use dragons when you're attacking like that. Clan Castle in the center, probably the single most important. Got another dragon, only level 1, but that's fine. Mortars, triangle pattern in the center. Interesting, the wizards are not as centralized. This one over here is protecting 2 storages. This one over here is kind of, sort of, not really protecting one. If you look at the circle, it bisects it, so it'll only be able to protect this against melee units that were attacking from right in here. If they attacked from right in here, they'd get in for free. So yeah, interesting layout on the wizard towers. I think that could be improved a bit, but it would mean probably de-emphasizing your storages a bit more. I like the fact that your one air defense that's active is very centralized, while your other one is upgrading out here. Yeah, very good overall. Yeah, I like to see this in action. I think that this base is very effective. Last thing I will mention is you got your flags and your decorations all around the outside. This does have a very, very minor effect for those of you guys who are not aware in terms of funneling enemies. So if someone put down a bunch of infantry right out here in like a straight line, when they walked through these, they would slightly bunch up. They would not walk straight through the middle. They'd walk around the sides, walk around the sides. So by putting flags and decorations like this all around your base, it will very, very, very minorly group up units, which can help with splash. That's all. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for this subscriber-based review video. Now, if you guys would like to be in a future subscriber-based review video, this is what you should do. 1. Follow my Facebook and Twitter. Why both? Well, Facebook does this lame thing where if I make a status and you're only following my Facebook, Facebook only actually sends that status to like, I think it's like 20%, 25% of my followers, even if you're online at the time. And it won't ever send it to more than that. So I can see that any of my statuses only go out to about 2,000 people. That includes people who click through to get to there from Twitter. So yeah, I would highly recommend following on Twitter as well. I'll make a status on Facebook when I'm accepting applications. If you don't have a Facebook, I am currently working on a new method where anyone can apply. Because, yes, I don't like Facebook either, and I understand that some of you guys don't have Facebook, either because you've deactivated them, or you're not old enough, or your parents don't let you have them, or you hate Facebook just as much as I do. Yeah, I totally understand. So I'm working on a new one. I'm not sure if it's going to be out by next weekend, though. But you can both follow my Facebook and Twitter, if you can, and I will tell you how to apply, even if it is not on Facebook anymore, via those means. Beyond that, you can check the description of this video in case it's changed, and I will give you links in there to how to apply. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this Town Hall 7 subscriber base review. even if you were not one of the 4 people featured, and if you got your application in especially and I was not able to pick it, I hope you guys did learn something all the same, and yeah, I think it was a nice selection of bases, and I think everyone, not only Town Hall 7s, can learn from these guys. So, thank you guys to everyone who applied, thank you guys to everyone who watched. Please show your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing if you have not. It is a subscriber-based review video, after all. You guys can let me know in the comments section what Town Hall level I should do next. That's going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, and clash on.